Good morning, or should I say, good 3 a.m. to all our listeners. I'm so glad you're here. Let's talk about a club that nobody really wants to be a member of, the Waking Up at 3 a.m. Club. You've probably been there, lying awake in the dead of night, the world completely silent except for the frantic thoughts bouncing around inside your head. It's that surreal, frustrating moment when you realize you're wide awake long before your alarm, and you start to wonder if something is deeply wrong with you. This experience, while feeling so solitary, is incredibly common, especially as we get older. It's not a sign of failure or a broken body. Instead, those early morning awakenings are often your body and mind sending you a series of quiet, complex messages. They are signals about your health, your habits, and even your emotional world. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on this mystery and explore 5 of the most common reasons why this happens. My hope is that by the end of this conversation, you'll stop seeing those early morning hours as a time of frustration and start seeing them as an opportunity for understanding. This isn't about fighting against your body. It's about learning to listen to it. So, let's begin our journey. Reason 1. The fading melatonin signal. Host. Our first clue lies deep within our biology, in a tiny but mighty hormone called melatonin. You've probably heard it referred to as the sleep hormone, and for good reason. Melatonin is the chemical that signals to your body that it's time to power down for the night. In your younger years, your body likely produced a strong, consistent flow of melatonin every evening. This steady supply acted like a heavy blanket, keeping you in a deep, peaceful sleep until morning. But as the years go on, this process naturally changes. Your body begins to produce less and less melatonin. It's just a normal part of getting older, like how your hair might start to thin or gray. The effect of this decline often becomes most noticeable in the early morning. You might drift off easily at first, but by 2, 3, or 4 a.m., that natural melatonin supply may have simply run out. Your brain, no longer held in a deep state of slumber, starts to subtly wake itself up. What makes it even trickier is that our sensitivity to our environment increases with age. That faint street lamp glow, the light from a digital clock, or a little peek of light from under the door, all of these things that you used to sleep right through can now act as potent disruptors, suppressing any remaining melatonin and making it harder to fall back asleep. Think of an older gentleman named Arthur. He was 75 and had always considered himself a heavy sleeper. But lately, he'd been waking up consistently at 3:30 a.m., feeling perfectly alert but annoyed. Once he learned about the natural decline of melatonin, he stopped blaming himself. He realized his sleep wasn't broken, it was just evolving. He took proactive steps, investing in some blackout curtains and making sure to put away his tablet an hour before bed. He also started a short, gentle walk after dinner to help reinforce his body's natural sleep-wake rhythm. These small changes didn't magically stop every early morning awakening, but they did help him feel more in control and in harmony with his body's new needs. Reason 2. The evolving sleep phase. Host. Our second reason for those pre-dawn wake-ups involves a fascinating shift in our internal clock, a phenomenon called an advanced sleep phase. Essentially, your entire circadian rhythm, that natural 24-hour cycle that controls when you feel sleepy and when you feel awake, begins to shift forward as you age. This means you might find yourself feeling tired and ready for bed much earlier in the evening, and as a result, waking up much earlier in the morning. You might notice yourself nodding off on the couch during the evening news or waking up naturally at dawn without an alarm, even on weekends. It's not a new habit you've picked up, it's a biological change. In our younger years, our body clocks are often set for a later bedtime and a later wake-up time to align with busy work and social schedules. But with age, that clock can start ticking ahead. For many older adults, retirement also plays a big role here. The absence of a strict work schedule means your body no longer has the external cues it once relied on to stay on a later timeline. Without the pressure of a commute, early meetings, or the general hum of a busy household, your internal clock is free to follow its own earlier rhythm. This is why you might fall asleep by 9 p.m., but by 3 a.m., your body has already completed its full cycle of rest. You wake up feeling surprisingly refreshed, even though it's still dark outside. Your night is simply over. Take Clara, a vibrant 70-year-old who recently retired. She found herself eating dinner by 5:30 p.m. and dozing off while reading by 8:30 p.m. Every night, she'd be wide awake by 2:45 a.m. At first, she thought she had insomnia, but after learning about the advanced sleep phase, she realized her sleep wasn't broken, it was just on a new schedule. Clara started making small adjustments to her evening routine. She'd engage in a stimulating activity like a puzzle or a long phone call with her sister to delay her bedtime. These small shifts helped nudge her sleep window to a later time, leading to fewer jarring early morning awakenings and the greater sense of peace with her body's natural rhythm. Reason 3. Physical discomforts and health signals. Host. Let's turn our attention to the body itself. Our third reason for waking up in the middle of the night often has to do with physical discomforts or health conditions that become more noticeable in the quiet stillness of the night. As we get older, we're more likely to be managing some kind of chronic condition, and many of these can silently disrupt our sleep. It could be a subtle ache, a small twinge, or a persistent discomfort that's just enough to pull you out of a deep sleep. For example, conditions like arthritis can make lying in one position for a long time increasingly uncomfortable, or nighttime acid reflux can. Even minor issues like a dry mouth or a change in room temperature can trigger a light awakening in the early morning when your body is more sensitive to these signals. One of the most common physical reasons, particularly for older men, is nocturia, the need to get up and urinate during the night. The bladder naturally loses some elasticity with age, and the urge to go can become more frequent. During the day, with all its distractions, you might not notice it, but at 3 a.m., in a dark, silent room, that signal becomes impossible to ignore. And once you get up and move, you can transition from a deep sleep to a state of light alertness, making it tough to fall back asleep. It's also worth considering that many medications come with side effects that can affect sleep. Medications for things like high blood pressure or chronic pain might cause frequent urination, changes in body temperature, or other subtle issues that interfere with your rest. These physical wake-ups aren't signs of your body failing, they are signals. They're your body communicating its needs. Tuning into these signals can guide you toward better care, more informed choices, and a deeper sense of trust in your own awareness. Reason 4. The impact of lifestyle habits. Host. Our fourth reason is all about the quiet but powerful influence of our daily routines. Many older adults naturally begin to alter their daily patterns. Dinners might be earlier, evenings wind down sooner, and overall physical activity may decrease. These minor adjustments can send signals to your body that the night should start earlier, inevitably shifting your wake-up time with it. Especially after retirement, when the strict structure of a full-time job is gone, our bodies lose some of the external cues they once relied on. The absence of a busy schedule or a packed social calendar means your intrinsic sleep-wake cycle can begin to drift. A calm, dimly lit evening with minimal stimulation can prompt your brain to release melatonin ahead of schedule, inviting sleep before you've even registered that it's time for bed. And once you're asleep earlier, your body simply completes its full cycle of rest, leading to those pre-dawn awakenings. There's an interesting link between the timing of our meals and sleep quality. Eating dinner very early can sometimes lead to a dip in blood sugar overnight, which can be enough to rouse your body from sleep. Similarly, our sensitivity to stimulants like caffeine can change with age. A slowing metabolism means that afternoon cup of coffee can linger in your system much longer than it once did, subtly lightening your sleep and making you more susceptible to waking up from any disturbance. John, 72 and newly retired, found himself in this exact situation. His days became less structured and his evenings more relaxed. He started having dinner at 5 p.m., often dozing off in his armchair before 9 p.m. Before long, he was waking up consistently around 3 a.m. After reflecting on his new routine, John began to make small, intentional adjustments. He started taking a brisk walk in the late afternoon and made a point to read his book in a well-lit room to delay the onset of sleepiness. These changes gently nudged his natural sleep window a bit later, allowing him to settle into a rhythm that aligned more closely with his desired wake-up time.
Reason 5. Emotional and psychological echoes. Finally, our fifth reason for those early morning wake-ups takes us into the realm of our inner world. Sometimes it has less to do with the body and more to do with the mind and heart. As we get older, the quiet of the night can become a silent stage where unspoken worries, lingering regrets, or unfulfilled longings begin to stir. You might find yourself awake not because of pain or noise, but because your mind is quietly sifting through memories, unresolved thoughts, or subtle anxieties you didn't even realize were there. In these quiet hours, the mind often turns inward, revisiting old relationships, past decisions, or losses that have been endured. And without the distractions of the day, there's ample space for these thoughts and feelings to echo a little louder. For many older adults, social circles can naturally shrink over time. Children may move away, friends may pass on, and daily routines can change dramatically. While the daytime might be filled with activity, the nighttime often brings a profound stillness, and with it, a heightened awareness of that emotional gap. This loneliness doesn't always feel heavy. Sometimes it manifests as a gentle ache for connection or a quiet yearning for someone to talk to when the house is utterly still. Consider Margaret, an 82-year-old widow. During the day, she kept busy with her garden and video calls with her grandchildren. But regularly around 3 a.m., she would awaken. Her thoughts were turning to cherished moments with her late husband. At first, she was just frustrated. But over time, she came to understand that her early awakenings weren't about sleep at all. They were her heart and mind asking to be heard. To support herself, Margaret began a simple practice. She kept a small journal by her bedside. When she woke up, she would jot down whatever was on her mind, providing a gentle outlet for her emotions. The human heart doesn't adhere to a strict schedule. It remembers what it needs to remember and asks the questions it needs to ask, and sometimes it chooses 3 a.m. to do so, when everything else is quiet. This isn't a flaw, it's a testament to the depth and richness of your life experience. If you find yourself waking up feeling reflective, it might be a sign that you carry wisdom ready to be acknowledged. Rather than seeing these wake-ups as something to fix, try approaching them with curiosity and kindness. As we wrap up our conversation, take a quiet moment to reflect on what we've discussed today. Did you recognize yourself in the fading glow of melatonin, the shifting of an advanced sleep phase, the quiet signals of physical health, the subtle influence of your daily habits, or the emotional echoes of the night? Each of these 5 reasons offers a distinct lens through which to understand those early morning awakenings, and none of them suggest that something is inherently wrong or broken with you. In fact, they beautifully illustrate how deeply your body and mind are still working, still responding, still adapting. There's a profound, quiet power in truly understanding what your body and mind are trying to communicate, especially in those silent hours before dawn. So instead of viewing those 3 a.m. wake-ups as a nuisance, try to see them as a message, a gentle signal reminding you to listen more closely to your needs and the innermost stirrings of your heart. You are not alone in this, but with this new insight comes the strength to make small, meaningful changes that can support more restorative rest, a deeper sense of comfort, and a stronger connection to your own unique rhythms. You aren't simply aging, you are evolving. And with that evolution comes a wonderful opportunity to approach your rest more intentionally and to greet each new morning with a bit more understanding, compassion, and peace.